Hey there, everyone. Welcome back. It is Tuesday. It's like mid-May-ish, and of course that means that we should probably be talking about the upcoming Bride banner in Fire Emblem Heroes. We don't know that it's a Bride banner, except that we do, just based on past experience. Right? Every May, a Bride banner comes. Watch this be the one time it doesn't happen, and then I look like an idiot. So if history repeats itself, I'll phrase it that way. The Special Heroes banner that's coming up in like a week or so should be Brides. Great. What's so special about Brides? Well, I will tell you. It's kind of like the nice, comfy follow-up to the sadness and tragedy that is Fallen Heroes that also happens in May. So we have kind of a duality of hero type thing going on. For May, which I guess it's nice. You go from uncomfortable to comfy, and that's a nice little way to round out the month, I guess, before we get into summer madness. But that's a different video. What's special about this Bride's banner is that it is different from last. How do I mean that? Well, we had an extra banner in January, which basically threw off the alternation of Harmonized and Duo units showing up in special banners. So last year, we had Duo Bride, right? That was Bride Micaiah Soth. Well, this year, we also had that Pledgian banner, which gave us 2 Duo/Harmonized units in January, a Duo for New Year's, and then this oddball special, the Pledgian banner, gave us a Harmonized. And so that threw everything off a little bit, because otherwise it would have rotated differently, and we would have had another Duo for Brides. But this time it's Harmonized if patterns keep. Patterns. So I am expecting a Harmonized Bride, but that's a little bit tricky, right? Because typically the Bride banners, it would be weird. It would be weird having, let's say, Bride Silica get walked or married to Marth, right? That would be weird. Harmonized, but weird, because Alm, right? Alm exists. Somewhere Alm exists. So it's a little bit odd, right? So I think what they might try to do this time is be tricky with the Harmonized unit, similar to the way that they handled Winter, although they really didn't have to handle Winter that way. They just kind of chose to. And they paired Soniki and Altina together, which is technically a Harmonized hero because one of them comes from Path of Radiance, the other one comes from Radiant Dawn, even though they are both in and or talked about in both of those games. So they're just picking and choosing conveniently to make a Harmonized unit. So I don't really know what that's about, but I feel like they could do the same thing for Brides, because some of the games have a little bit of carryover, which is what we're going to talk about now. And then at the end, I'll also say, who I think might just show up as normal banner stuff. But the Harmonized units, in case you're wondering, we are currently missing representation from Shadows of Valentia, Thracia, Binding Blade, and Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Everybody else should have one, at least one. There are some double ups. But for the most part, I think we're good. So I'm assuming that they will probably pull from that rather than other games that have had representation already. At least that's what my hope would be. To create a fair and balanced game state, perchance. But hey, let's talk about a few possibilities. And this is going to have spoilers, particularly for Shadows of Valentia, and I guess kind of Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I guess. Binding Blazing Blade, maybe. Really, the only real spoilers you have to worry about are Shadows of Valentia, and it's not really game breaking, okay? It revolves around Tatiana, and if you don't know who that is, you never played Shadows of Valentia, okay? It also revolves around Zeke, who looks oddly familiar to that Camus guy from Mystery of the Emblem. All right? That's your hint. If you don't know anything that I'm talking about and you don't want that spoiled, go away. But if you don't care or you already know, then stick around and we'll chat about it. So the first one that I want to bring up are the Fated Lovers options, which is basically Tatiana and Zeke. Now, Tatiana is a long-awaited character for a lot of people to have a debut in FEH. I feel like Brides would suit her pretty well. Her whole thing is that she loves Zeke, and Zeke loves her, but Zeke has this fuzzy memory problem, and, you know, there's just a lot of conflict. But it's a very Romeo and Juliet type of situation, kind of, in the sense that they just want to be together, but forces keep pulling them apart. Here's the spoiler. Zeke is actually Camus. And also kind of serious. Or Camus, I guess. He's got so many names. Why does he have so many names? Why does this man have so many names? You might remember him from all of the Marth games or the Arcanea series. Yes, the White Wings are not the only ones that did crossovers in Shadows of Valentia. This man did as well. So Camus basically returns to Arcanea to put down Ragey Harden. And during the War of Heroes, and then comes back to be with Tatiana, but he also kind of shafts Nina in the process, so oof, love hurts. And basically, in this sense, you have a character going from Zeke to Sirius back to Zeke. So Zeke, Sirius, Camus, Zeke. They could be kind of shifty and find a way, okay, to technically, because Zeke is technically from Shadows of Valentia, but he's also technically from Arcanea. So it's, see where I'm going with this? They have the levity of messing around with a little bit, and technically, having a harmonized bride of Tatiana from Shadows of Valentia and paired with, you know, Sirius or Camus, who is from Arcanea, but he's also technically Zeke. So technically harmonized, but also kind of not. That's the one that honestly has my bet. Like, if they're gonna do something like that, it's gonna be with this unit because it just feels made for it. Honestly. But then again, it's Shadows of Valentia, and I don't think they recognize that game anymore, so sad but true. So yeah, like I said, technically harmonized, but also not really that harmonized. Next up is something that I think is a little less traditional in how they've handled brides before. But if you didn't know, the Elite games consist of Binding Blade and Blazing Blade. Now, Binding Blade came out before Blazing Blade in terms of releases, but the events of Blazing Blade took place before Binding Blade. So Blazing Blade is actually a sequel prequel to Binding Blade. Does that make sense? I didn't have to explain it like that, but I chose to anyway. So Binding Blade has the children of a lot of Blazing Blade characters, and what's nifty about that is that, canonically speaking, they identify a lot of the fathers, but not the mothers. Sorry, moms. So what you could have here is a lot of crossover of children and dads between Binding and Blazing Blade. So you could have some kind of like father walking the daughter down the aisle type of situation. Yeah? See where I'm going with this? So kind of like how we had Halloween Hector, the duo unit, the original seasonal duo. We could have Hector from Blazing Blade with Lilina from Binding Blade. Technically harmonized, but also not really, but kind of also technically harmonized. And there's a couple other examples of that as well. You have your where is she at? You got your Sue, you got your Wrath. Those are fun, right? You got your Igreen, your Hawkeyes, daughters, canonical fathers, two different games, still the same series, technically. Big win? Seems like a big win to me. I feel like they would easily kind of just be shifty and do something like that. And I mean, I genuinely wouldn't really be upset about it. I'd be pretty okay with it, to be honest. The kid crossover just kind of screams this potential. So if they went this route, that would be it. But again, that's not really traditional. Something else that's not theoretically that traditional as well. If you're unaware of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, it's basically a Fire Emblem crossover game. And it's genuinely pretty good. If you haven't given it a shot, you should. So, what this does is essentially pair Mirages, which are typically main popular characters from majoritively the Awakening and Arcanea games, with basically an OC cast native to Tokyo Mirage Sessions. So, imagine a harmonized hero. That's what this is in a main title game. Beautiful. So you have the main cast like Itsuki, Tsubasa, Kiria, etc., paired with Mirage versions, right, of Chrom, Sita, Tharja, and so on. You could theoretically, okay, you could theoretically pair characters together, like Tsubasa with her real-world compart, Sita. So not the Mirage form of Sita, but the Arcanea form of Sita. And is it coincidence that characters like Kiria and Tsubasa have Mirages who already have bride forms like Tharja and Sita? Is that coincidence? Probably yes, but that's an aluminum foil hat theory for another day, maybe. They can also get like a little bit shifty with it. I mean, look, you have source material, okay? That's actually Tsubasa in like a wedding dress. It's part of one of her performance pieces where that's the outfit that she wears. She's look, basically bride fodder right here. But then again, they've also had Bride Lucina for like a long time too and have done nothing with it, so who knows. If you wanted to be a little bit different, you could probably pair Itsuki with Chrom, do kind of like groom best man type of thing instead of like a bride and a bridesmaid thing. But that's basically what this is. It's pairing Tokyo Mirage Session cast with the actual game counterparts of their Mirages in a type of bride, bridesmaid, groomsman type thing. And honestly, I think the world needs some form of groom Chrom at this point, because Chrom fans are just getting beat down. And they keep getting back up, bless their hearts. But yeah, something like that, I think, again, not the traditional manner in which bride banners are typically handled, but a very crafty way of getting around the whole harmonized issue, with still having it make sense. So I'm all for it, personally. So anyway, those are just some creative ideas that I had, and I hope that you found them enjoying. I hope you enjoyed them. Enjoyful. It's not a word. At the end of the day, really, I think we all just need Bride Lucina. Bride Lucina is a thing that has existed for a very long time. It was part of the Warriors DLC, and even made it into a cipher card. So, you know. And also, I asked if you could just do me a personal favor and give me Bride May and 4-star Groom Bowie, because we all know that's how that would that's definitely how that would happen, right? Okay, Bowie would be the 4-star. I'd be fine with it. You know, it's just an easier +10. We will see. We've been very patient. Please give. Anyway, those are just some ideas that I had for the upcoming Bride Banner. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Who do you think we will see on the upcoming Bride Banner? Who do you want to see on the upcoming Bride Banner? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to members for supporting. That is all I have for you right now. So, thank you again. And until then, I will catch you next time.